Hey, it's Helle from Ignea, and you're listening to the Dan Chan Show on Hard Rock Hell Radio.
Helle, thanks so much for joining me on the show. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm fine. We're working on new music right now and trying not to get crazy with all the lockdowns,
Well, I was going to ask you, has there been a sensible approach to the pandemic in the Ukraine?
Well, I don't know. Right now, the number of cases is really lower.
Good.
And we're just waiting for the vaccination to start and for the borders to open.
Yeah, but it's just such a difficult time, isn't it, for everyone?
Yes, absolutely. And it's been for quite a long time. I mean, it's been over a year now.
I know. Can you believe this time last year we were going, everything will be fine by the summer. And now we're saying a year later, everything's going to be fine by the summer.
Yeah, sure.
So, onto the music. Last year's album, The Reigns of Fire and Death, is a concept album, I believe. And it has some short stories that you wrote to accompany it. Can you tell me the theme behind the album?
Well, obviously it is about fire and death from various perspectives. So I just wanted to have all songs be about these themes. And we have the album is split into 3 parts and each part is 3 songs in it. Yeah. And I don't know, I just, Ignea is translated as flaming or burning.
Yeah.
So it was just only a matter of time until we would release something, about fire, and this topic is always somewhere close to us.
Yeah.
So it's a concept album, and I really recommend reading these tales to dig into this album and to understand what exactly is happening.
And where can we read the tales?
So basically, we've got a printed version of this book, which is part stories, part lyrics for the album, and it's available in our store at ignea.band. Or you can get a digital version and an audio version if you sign up to our Patreon page.
Great. With the idea of the concept album, did you enjoy doing it? Is it something you'll carry on the theme of for the next album?
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it a lot because I really love storytelling that's coming together with music. And this is something that I also search for in, other bands, other artists. And it was, that's why I believe that this album is a more well-thought thing. And we're actually working now not on an album, but on something different. But it also has huge storytelling behind it. And I think that this is something that might become, a constant thing for us.
Great. That sounds exciting. And obviously the artwork and the direction is very well executed as well. The imagery seems to be very important to you guys.
Yes, and we finally came up, with a designer and a graphic designer and artist who is working with us, and we find it very important that the visual part also corresponds to music, because it all creates, music, storytelling, and artwork. All should be going into one picture, because this is how people are going to experience it, more deeply, so to say.
And obviously, there's the continuity between the album artwork, the videos, everything is so well done.
Yes, I believe so as well. And I think that the biggest mistake that we did before is that we didn't work much on our, visual presence. Mm-hmm. And I think that we finally mastered it, and we will continue to work in it, more thoroughly. Yeah, I think it's really important.
I think it's so important for bands to have that brand and band image, really, to lock everything in for T-shirts and all the merch and everything.
Yes, exactly. And this is what we're doing right now. And, we have a great response in terms of our merch line and everything, because people are really enjoying the visuals. And sometimes I also I have a marketing background, and I also know that some people buy merch just because of the picture.
Exactly.
Maybe sometimes they even don't listen to this band, but they love.
I was talking to David Ellison from Megadeth, and we were talking about that exact thing. It's people buy into the T-shirts. Tell me how the Kardashians wear Megadeth T-shirts. They don't even know the music.
Yes. Well, I remember this scandal and everything.
So the album was crowdfunded, I believe, by the fans. They helped to create and pay for the album. How did you approach that?
Yes, exactly. We actually kicked off our Patreon page 2 years ago, and right from the beginning, we decided all the contributions will go to fund our album. So
Yeah.
in the end, we funded like the recording of the album, the shooting of all the videos that we had, and we're just continuing, to crowdsource the funds to continue going on with Ignea.
Yeah.
And it's more than money because we've built a strong community out there.
Yeah.
We really communicate with our fans, and we know how what pets they have, where they live, and everything. It's really a very cool experience, especially during the pandemic.
Of course. And I've got to go back to the sound the band create. These wonderful like Middle Eastern sounds that emanate from your tracks. Where do those come from? And it just fits so well with what you're doing.
Well, I must say that our keyboardist is also a composer of all the songs that we have.
Yeah.
And none of the band members has like this Middle Eastern background.
Yeah.
But we really do enjoy the melodies that these Middle Eastern tunes, because they sound really differently to the classic European metal, so to say. And it really catches the attention of people, and we enjoy them and everything. But we don't position ourselves as a Middle Eastern metal band right now, because our music is quite diverse, and these tunes are not present in all the songs. So, for example, the songs that we're working on right now, they don't have like this sound. They still sound as us, but they don't have like Middle Eastern things in them.
Very cool, exciting times. So, sticking to the songs, you're not afraid to release tracks in your own language as well. I mean, how important is it to stick to your roots and not always fall into the English language?
Well, I don't know. Like for us, also, English is like a perfect language for metal music. This is how we hear it.
Right.
But we just had this song that would be sounding like properly. We just heard it in Ukrainian and we decided to do it. And I think that based on the response of people and based on our feeling, we will be continuing to incorporate Ukrainian language more in our music. And like to give you a small hint, like the upcoming music that is coming from us, it's based like on Ukrainian history, Ukrainian mythology. And that's why, of course, there will be some Ukrainian language involved.
Fascinating.
But that's all that I can say right now.
And there's nothing wrong with singing in your mother tongue either. I mean, Rammstein have done pretty well out of it, haven't they?
Yes. I think that we will stick with English as the main language, but we will also experiment with other languages, including Ukrainian, of course.
Perfect. So how did you get into metal? How did Helle get into metal? I mean, what are your personal vocal influences?
I don't like vocal influences, but what I do, I really follow a lot of vocalists in different genres, and I'm trying to analyze them from the perspective of the vocal technique, so to say.
Yeah.
So I cannot see that sometimes I just get inspired from other things. Sometimes people ask me, like, how do you write lyrics? What do you read? But I don't get inspired by reading something. I get inspired by, traveling and meeting people and exploring culture. So I don't know, lately I've been very much into deathcore vocals.
Yeah.
I really love them. And just because I was listening to a lot of deathcore bands recently, my roles became better because I'm trying to imitate them, So this is like an ongoing process. So I cannot say that I have like constant vocal influence, so to say.
And sticking with the Ukraine thing, what's the scene like? What's the metal rock scene like in Ukraine?
Well, I might say that it is totally underground, and this is not a genre that you would hear, on huge festivals or something. Yeah. But I think that over the past years, we've been doing a great metal band expert, so to say, because we've got such bands as Ginger, 1914, and so on. Like they being signed by major labels. We see a lot of bands, Ukrainian bands, touring out there. So here you would find like small underground venues with actually a lot of great bands. But it's really hard, to break the line and go out there, mostly because of the finance.
Yeah.
But it's been better just because I guess that 6 years ago, 5 years ago, or maybe less, we got this visa-free regime with the European Union, and that was the point when everything started moving, because it was really hard to go out there in your band. So yeah, I think that we will experience more like Ukrainian metal growing, and I think that a lot of people, they just get interested in that because they know already a lot of German metal bands, Finnish metal bands, and I think that they want something fresh, and this is where Ukraine, is coming to the scene.
Absolutely. How would you describe your music? I mean, I've read many things of different genre categories. Do you like genres? How would you describe yourself?
I think that this is the hardest question that we've been getting. And again, as a marketing specialist in the past, I understand that you should be able to define your genre and you should be able to explain what exactly you're playing. So, I don't know, since the last album, I just figured out that we should be positioning us as melodic metal because we are experimenting a lot. We even have, a black death metal track on the latest album.
Yeah.
But like we are melodic in any case. We don't go as extreme. So it's just metal, but melodic. And this is how I think, because yes, we have some symphonic stuff, we have folk stuff, we have Middle Eastern stuff, we have electronic stuff. So it's very hard, to put everything under one umbrella. Yeah. Sometimes, though, people are referring to us like a progressive symphonic metal band. And I think that's also quite true. And I even must say that if we take the reviews of the latest album, the prog reviewers rated it at the high score because they understood the diversity of this music.
That's right. Melodic's a good thing, though. It fits a lot of categories. So with shows, what's on the horizon?
Well, we've got a couple of solo shows in Finland planned for May. We don't know if they are going to happen for obvious reasons. We also just were announced for a festival in Switzerland with a great lineup. And we're just waiting for everything to open up because we had 3 tours planned for the past year. And they are in the process of being either canceled or postponed because we're mostly, like each lineup included an American metal band. And they really don't know if they can come. And that is the main problem, So I think that everything is going to develop in the next few months. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And what new tracks are you looking forward to playing live to a live audience?
Yes, absolutely. We actually had one solo show in Kiev, in our home city, in October. It was a presentation of our latest album, and we managed to do it in a very short time frame. When shows like with a limited capacity were allowed, and it was really like a breath of fresh air. Although we were playing, in front of people who were sitting and wearing masks and everything, but we really missed it a lot. And of course, not being able to tour with your new album in the year of the release of this album is really very bad and very disappointing. So I just hope that everything will get back to normal.
And you've got to keep it fresh as well, because when you do get out to play that album, it's going to be old by then, isn't it? You've got to try and don't overdo it.
Yes. Well, I don't know. This is like the hardest point is that, we already released this album, and in March, it's going to be 1 year old. Yeah. So, it's not a fresh album. That is why we decided that we would be making some new music as well for this year. Yeah. Just to, keep all the fans engaged and be on the radar.
Yeah, that's important, isn't it? And I believe you just finished up recording a new video as well, haven't you?
We actually recorded 4 videos back in autumn. Yeah, we just, we rented a space and made some kind of a session, so to say, where we played 4 songs live, and they were recorded, and we're just, publishing 1 video per month or something like that, also to keep everyone engaged. And this is also kind of an alternative to online music concerts, because we just felt that it's very hard to make a high quality production for the band of our level,
Yeah.
because you need a very stable connection. You need a very high experted crew
Yeah.
and everything. So we decided we would focus on writing new music, but these live videos is something that people can still enjoy.
Of course, of course. Now, what one song from your repertoire sums the band up best?
I think that right now, like, our most popular song, Gin Slammer,
Yeah, it's great,
characterizes us the best, because this is something fresh from our latest album.
Yeah.
We have like both extreme vocals and clean vocals out there. We have like keyboard solo, which is also very,
Yeah.
very remarkable for us.
Yeah.
And I think that Gin Slammer and Disenchantment, these are like the songs that show everything that we're doing right now.
Yeah, cool. And what's the proudest moment of your career so far? If your career was to end now, right after this phone call, what could you say? Wow, that was incredible. One moment.
Oh, well, one moment, I don't know, but I think that our tour that we had back in 2018 with Butcher Babies and Cobra and the Lotus, it was not like one moment, but I think that we felt most ourselves and most happy during this tour, because it was an incredible thing to do. And within this lineup, we became friends, and people were following this lineup from show to show. So there were people who were visiting half of the tour or something like that. And like, just to feel yourself a proper touring musician with all the pros and cons of touring, I think that it was like the brightest memory that we had.
Cool. Special times. So lastly, random question. What's the most used emoji on your phone?
Fire.
Is it fire?
Oh, it's true, yes.
That's the number one. That's the first one on your list, fire. And the horns, of course, I'm sure they're there.
No, actually not horns, but fire, like flame, is always something that I'm using in our social media posts for the band and for my personal messages as well.
Well, Helle, thank you so much for joining me. Good luck with everything, and I'm looking forward to hearing some new music some point this year.
Yes. Thank you for having me.